For millions of entrepreneurs all across India, this is probably the single biggest question they're facing right now. Which digital battlefield do I choose? Is it Amazon, Flipkart, or the newcomer, Meesho? Believe me, picking the right platform, or the right mix of platforms, it can be the difference between incredible growth and just getting totally lost in the crowd. I want you to think about this story of a guy named Ravi, a small textile manufacturer. Just a few years ago, he was making about 30,000 rupees a month. Today, he's pulling in over 8 lakhs. And his secret, his whole strategy, it all came down to a really smart choice about where to sell his stuff. His story just goes to show you how high the stakes and, of course, the potential rewards really are. And Ravi is definitely not alone in this. Get this number, 2.3 million. That's how many sellers are actively trying to figure this out, comparing these exact platforms every single month. It's this huge ongoing debate because the right answer is always changing and it's super personal to every single business out there.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the digital gold rush. Then, we'll properly meet the 3 giants. After that, it's the ultimate platform showdown, followed by a personal guide to help you decide. And we'll wrap up by looking at what's next for Indian e-commerce. So let's start with the big picture, what I'm calling the digital gold rush. This isn't just about selling a few things online. It's about staking your claim in one of the fastest growing markets on the entire planet. And in a market like this, your choice of platform is more critical than has ever been. Just look at this growth. The Indian e-commerce market is absolutely exploding, growing at about 25% every year. It's projected to hit a staggering $350 billion by 2030. So yeah, the pie is getting way bigger, but guess what? So is the competition, which makes your platform choice absolutely vital. Okay, so let's meet our main contenders. And to make this a little easier to remember, let's think of them as characters. You've got Amazon, the global titan, Flipkart, the homegrown champion, and Meesho, the social disruptor. Each one has a totally unique identity and strategy.
First up, the global titan, Amazon. They came into the Indian market all the way back in 2013, and since then they've become this dominant force. Everyone knows them for their massive infrastructure, their global standards, and this incredibly powerful ecosystem they've built. They really are the established international heavyweight. Now, for you as a seller, Amazon brings some serious firepower to the table. You get their legendary Fulfillment by Amazon program, that's FBA, which handles all your storage, packing, shipping, the whole shebang. You also get the potential for global reach, some crazy advanced analytic tools to track everything, and of course you get direct access to their prime customers. And those are the shoppers who are known to spend more and more often. All right, next up, we've got the homegrown champion, Flipkart. This company was founded in India for India. And their biggest strength? It's this deep, almost instinctive understanding of the local customer, right? From Diwali sales to regional tastes, they just get the Indian market inside and out. So Flipkart's advantages are really built on that local trust. They have massive brand recognition here. Their Flipkart Assured program is basically a stamp of quality for buyers. They offer really comprehensive seller support, and this is crucial. They have deep penetration into those Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, which is where the next huge wave of online shoppers is coming from.
And finally, we have the social disruptor, Meesho. Honestly, this is the revolutionary newcomer that has just completely changed the rules of the game. They've built their entire platform around social selling, which lets individual entrepreneurs start a business with practically zero upfront investment. It's a whole new model.
Meesho's model is just a total game changer. Their big headline feature is a zero commission model. Yes, you heard that right, zero. That creates an unbelievably low barrier to entry. They're also built for social selling, with these deep integrations into WhatsApp and Facebook. And they invest a ton in seller education, teaching people how to win in this new world of social commerce.
Okay, now for the main event, the ultimate platform showdown. We're going to put these giants head-to-head on the things that really matter to you: the costs, the customers, and the capabilities. And look, the goal here isn't to pick a single winner, but to help you understand the unique strengths that each one could bring to your business.
So let's start with market share. As you can see, Flipkart is leading the pack. But honestly, the real story here is Meesho. Their explosive growth has just catapulted them to the number 2 spot with 30% of the market. They are seriously challenging that long-standing 2-horse race between Flipkart and Amazon. This is a massive shift in the landscape.
Now let's talk about the most direct cost you'll face: commission fees. Amazon and Flipkart, they have these variable rates, right?
usually somewhere between 5 to 20% depending on what you're selling. But then, look at that last column. Meesho is all alone with its 0% commission across the board. Now sure, other fees can apply, but Meesho's core model is just fundamentally different when it comes to cost.
But hey, fees are only one part of the puzzle, right? A low fee doesn't really mean much if you're not actually making any sales. So the real question is, when you look past the fees, what kind of results are sellers actually seeing on these platforms?
And this is where you really start to see the trade-offs. So Amazon sellers, they tend to have the highest average monthly sales, but their conversion rate is a bit lower. Meesho, on the other hand, it's kind of the opposite. Lower average sales per seller, but the highest conversion rate by far at nearly 16%. This kind of suggests that their social trust-based model is incredibly good at turning browsers into actual buyers. And Flipkart? It sits pretty comfortably right in the middle, offering a really solid balance.
A huge piece of this comes down to who you're selling to. The customer profiles for each platform are really distinct. Amazon tends to attract those urban, premium, tech-savvy shoppers. Flipkart has a much broader, more diverse audience of value-conscious shoppers from all over the country. And Meesho's core audience? It's the price-sensitive, social media-savvy user, often in those Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Your goal is to match your product to the right customer on the right platform. So, we've looked at all the data. Now let's actually turn all that information into a real actionable framework with your personal decision guide. This is all about matching the right platform to your specific business.
Okay, if you're a new seller, listen up. Here's a simple way to start thinking about it. Choose Meesho if your capital is tight and your products are a great fit for those price-sensitive Tier 2 and 3 markets. Go with Flipkart if you have a really good feel for the Indian market and you want to cash in on those big festival sales. And you should choose Amazon if you're selling high-margin products and your main goal is to build a premium, trusted brand.
Now let's look to the horizon for a second. This e-commerce landscape is changing all the time. So understanding what's coming next is absolutely key to not just surviving, but actually thriving in the years to come.
This timeline really puts our current moment into perspective. You had Amazon's entry in 2013, which set a global standard. Then Meesho's launch in 2015 introduced social commerce. But I think 2024 to 2025 will really be remembered for Meesho's just meteoric rise, which has completely reshaped the market. So what's the future going to be about? It's going to be defined by things like AI, voice commerce and regional languages, and an even deeper focus on hyper-localization.
So after all of this, what's the ultimate takeaway? Well, for most of the really successful sellers, like Robbie from the beginning of our story, the answer isn't choosing just one platform. It's adopting a multi-platform strategy. This lets you diversify our risk, it gives you access to totally different customer groups, and it maximizes your presence across the entire market. It's not about choosing a side, it's about conquering the whole map.
So in the end, the question isn't really about which platform is going to win the e-commerce war. The only question that really matters is, how will you win? Based on your product, your goals, and your customers, what's your winning strategy going to be?